Rokka and the 6 Braves, or should we call this Rokka and the 6 Braves and 1 fake? So, this episode, once again, I gotta say the obvious. Camera angles on fucking point, the tension on point, the setup, the build-up, the characterization, everything on fucking point, per usual, from this series. Rokka is definitely the hidden gem in one of the best series of summer 2015. Hands down, it is. Because this episode, once again, continues those vibes, those themes of what we have experienced since almost the beginning of the series, and it continues to get better. And that's what this episode does, and it leads into something that I expected, because like I've already said, I read the description, but still, that build-up to that scene was fucking amazing. I cannot deny the build-up to that finale part of this episode. Whoa. So, let's talk about this. So, the episode's main premise or theme is where all the different Braves are coming together, they're talking it out, and they're discussing, okay, so who are you? What's your name? What's your origin? Where'd you come from? How'd you become a Brave? You know, like, just different, characterization details for us as the viewer to understand. So kind of like this episode was to give us, the viewer, the information to probably figure out who is the fake among everybody else. And I've already done my little bit of theories myself. I do not think it's the assassin dude in this, the dude that talks like a cat. I really don't believe it is that dude, because usually when characters get introduced like that, it's just way too fucking obvious, and I don't think it is. I really don't. So I'm gonna instantly just throw that dude off the table. He's gone. He's not the fake. Adlet, our MC, I don't think he is either, because we have seen his entire perspective in the way he acts. If he is a fake, he's unaware of it, then my entire discussion of me saying, like, in before he's the Demon King or Demon God, that'll come true. But for now, what we need to really think about is, like, who is the fake? Because we can count out the cat dude, and we can count out, our MC, because I highly doubt it's him as well. So, who is it? That's a big question, because we found out more about Fremy in this episode, and we come to find out that she's half fiend, half human. And she didn't really give all of her details out, like, she left some of it out, as we can tell. But she let us know that she had a human father and a fiend mother, and she, at one point in time, she wanted to work for the Demon God and kill off the Braves and do the Demon God well. Like, versus she wanted to make him happy. And from that perspective, it instantly makes it look like maybe Fremy is evil. That's what it does. And the entire perspective of the way this series is trying to do that, make us perceive that Fremy is the bad guy, which I don't think it is, because once again, that leads into, it's way too fucking obvious. There's no way that Fremy is, the fake Brave. I don't think she is, because there's other things behind the scenes that we are unaware of when it comes to Fremy, because she left out some details. We can tell the way she acted, and the way she's half fiend, half human, I just don't believe that she is necessarily evil. I really don't. So we'll see where her character goes, but I don't think it is, because there was many chances if she was a fake, and it made a lot of sense of what the assassin said. If she was the fake, she would have killed Adlet, our MC, if, she was the fake, because having 7 Braves working together and popping up in one area, that's a bad situation for any fake, so that's really bad. But the same argument could be said for our MC, so I don't know why they're not seeing that, but it does make sense, though, if you think about the situation way he described his story, because it's a locked room situation, which, like I said, I'll save that for the last section. I want to save that for last before I get into that. But then other characters, like, the little lolly girl, it was a lolly. My mistake, I called the person a boy last, because so many fucking traps in this season. There's so many traps, and so it confused me. So yeah, that little person, the little kid, is a girl, and to see the personality of that kid, very suspicious. I personally believe it's the kid or the princess. It's one of them. It definitely has to be one of them that are the fake, because the kid starts off really strong at a young age, super powerful. Maybe the kid is not aware that it's working for the Demon God, maybe, unaware at all, but I still believe that kid is very suspicious, the way she acts. It's just, yeah, it makes a lot more sense. And then, our princess, she reeks of being like the final villain. She does. She looks like a final villain. I mean, the way she acts, she's hyperventilating, she's getting dizzy, she's passing out. And if you think about this in a certain sense, actually, let's take a moment to think about this. It makes a lot more sense. What did we find out in this episode if we think about it? We found out that fiends can't really enter the temple because of the pillars, the salt pillars or whatever, I think that's what it was. The salt pillars make fiends not want to enter and it makes them sick or whatever. What happened in this episode? The princess got sick and got dizzy and fell down. So I think, once again, it might be the princess. I think it's the princess that is the bad guy. I really do. Because ever since that first episode with that entire screen with the moon and stuff, when you see like the demon god reawakening, I've always pegged her as a villain the way she acted. And so to see that makes a lot more sense. It really does. So personally, this episode, it sets up a lot of different details, gives us characterization, and that's kind of what this entire episode has been about. Now that we have finished this episode, and we got to see what happened at the end, for instance, with this locked room situation, and how our MC really has no way to negate this argument against him, because if this room cannot be opened unless you open it, like, the doors will never shut again. Once it's open, the doors will not shut again. And supposedly, he said the doors opened, and then all of a sudden, the pillar in the entire shrine thing activated, and they can't leave no more. So, that makes you think that it was him that walked in there and activated it. So, he's in a very bad situation right now, because it was a locked room situation. There's not really much you can really explain at all. So that's about it. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below how you felt about this week's episode of Rokka. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.